Ang programang ito ay may mga temang hindi angkop para sa mga trolls, haters at bashers. Patnubay ng may utak, kailangan.
I'll never defend drug addiction and I will never defend crime against humanity, but I will always promote and defend the right to due process of every Filipino. How about Miss Alex Ayala? Huh? Finally, a sports hero we can all rally behind. Born to be a loser, no talent to be champion. I doubt if she can move on to the second round. Go home after the first round. Just be thankful being given once again the wild card from Miami. Mark my words, she is going to be her country's sports sweetheart for a long time. Or not. Depende sa kabaduyan nating mga Pilipino. No one is asking her to dance like she's some performer from the circus. Because she commands respect by carrying herself well in public. Much like wala kang makikitang video nila na pinaglalaruan sila ng mga tao, na pinagsasayaw sila ng mga tao na parang perya. Alex Ayala reminds us that you are either a sports hero or a clown. You cannot be both. She loves and respects her parents. She has all the qualities and none of the excess baggage of a real sports hero. No family drama, no boyfriend-girlfriend drama. She acts mature for her age, designed and packaged to command respect from everyone. Naaawa ka ba kay dating Pangulong Duterte?
Bakit po tayo maaawa sa kanya? Naawa ba siya sa mga pinagpapatay nila?
Bakit ako maaawa sa mga adik? Naawa ba sila sa mga biktima nila? Kung ganyan yung reasoning na magkabilang panig, then we'll have a proxy war. Biktima ng mga adik versus biktima ng tokang. Tatampo na naman si Kaloy. Pasok, Kaloy!
Mr. Epektibo, Kuya Ipek sa Senado. Mr. Epektibo, Dilip Senador, Senador. Epektibo, ang kuya natin sa Senado.
Welcome to another episode of Tara Kape, Kuya Ipe sa Senado. Clear tayo last episode, ha? I'll never defend drug addiction and I will never defend crime against humanity, but I will always promote and defend the right to due process of every Filipino. Pero bago natin ituloy ang kwentong dating Pangulong Duterte, a cup full of blessings muna tayo. Finally, a sports hero we can all rally behind. How about Miss Alex Ayala? Akala mo ako nanalo. Now, a certified tennis superstar. Agree kayo dyan? She has the looks, the skills, the attitude, work ethics, and most of all, professionalism at the young age of 19. She turned pro in 2020 and made history in 2022 when she became the first Filipino to win a junior Grand Slam singles title at the US Open in Flushing, Queens, New York. That's a mouthful. Ang haba nun. Her young professional career, if you followed her, was spotty at best. bashers and haters started to come out of the woodwork when she would get eliminated in the qualifying rounds of lower tier tournaments. She lost in the round of 16 in Mumbai, India, lost in the qualifying round of the Singapore Open, lost her qualifiers in Australian Open. These were typical hateful comments whenever there is news about Alex Ayala on social media. Born to be a loser, no talent to be champion. There's a lot more to improve, of course, not in modeling. I doubt if she can move on to the second round. Go home after the first round. Just be thankful being given once again the wild card from Miami. And just when doubters appeared to be winning on social media, she made the most out of the wild card entry given to her in Florida. No? In Miami, she made history again as the first Filipina to beat not one but two top 10 opponents against Madison Keys in the round of 32. She's ranked number 5 in the world and the reigning Australian Open champion. Then she followed this up by defeating world number 2, Iga Swiatek, in the quarterfinals of the Miami Open. She will be facing world number 4, Jessica Pegula, in the semifinals. And whatever results, she is already a champion. She has proven that she can beat the best tennis players out there. Mark my words, she is going to be her country's sports sweetheart for a long time. Or not. Depende sa kabaduyan nating mga Pilipino. Not only because she is pretty and talented, but because of the following. 1. Tennis is quite popular in the Philippines. Most Pinoys can name at least one tennis player. May it be Maria Sharapova, the Williams sisters, diba? Rafael Nadal, Federer, or even John McEnroe in the 80s. It is not a niche sports like men's gymnastics or weightlifting where we can name even one player other than Caloyulo and Heidelin Diaz. Number 2, she is the consummate professional. She carries herself in public very well. Pansin nyo? You don't see her dancing like an idiot on TikTok or Instagram. She doesn't let anyone make a fool of herself in public. No one is asking her to dance like she's some performer from the circus.
Carlos, pakitangan mo. Paano yun?
TikTok pala ito.
Nahulog yung nahulog.
Why? Because she commands respect by carrying herself well in public, much like consummate professionals do, like the late Kobe Bryant or Michael Phelps. Wala kang makikitang video nila na pinaglalaruan sila ng mga tao, na pinagsasayaw sila ng mga tao na parang perya. Alex Ayala reminds us that you are either a sports hero or a clown. You cannot be both. Number 3, this is important sa mga Pilipino. She is a good daughter. She is an obedient child. Pangarap ng bawat Pilipinong magulang yan. She loves and respects her parents. When she won against Madison Keys in the round of 32, she said, "I'm so glad. I am thinking of my parents who are watching. Mom, Dad, nakuha ko. Oh my God." She has all the qualities and none of the excess baggage of a real sports hero. No family drama, no boyfriend-girlfriend drama. She acts mature for her age. Her behavior and conduct in public appears calculated. Di ba? Designed and packaged to command respect from everyone. She has no toxic partner pulling her image down and making a clown out of her by making her do silly dances, typical of attention-seeking whores on social media. O, kaya ginagaya ng publiko. Ginagawa din siyang laruan. Most of all, she loves her parents, which is a very distinct Filipino trait. Finally, the country has found a sports hero worthy of emulating from head to toe. A hero we can all agree on, a hero we can all rally behind. Someone who does not divide the country. Congratulations, Pilipinas! You just won an Alex Ayala. Okay, tuloy natin yung usapan sa pag-aaresto sa dating Pangulo. From our last episode, nasagot na natin yung tanong na bakit hilaw ang pagkakaintindi natin sa right to due process. Ang sagot natin, magaling lang kasi tayo humingi. Pero pagkarapatan na ng iba, feeling natin okay lang na alisan at pagkaitan sila ng karapatan. Kahit magkapatayan, basta safe tayo at pamilya natin. At hindi tayo madamay. Wala tayong paki sa karapatan ng iba na mabuhay at maging malaya. May tanong ako na gusto sagutin. Naaawa ka ba kay dating Pangulong Duterte? Pakinggan muna natin ang sagot ni Attorney Leila de Lima bago ako sumagot. Kahit hindi ako yung tinatanong. Tinanong siya ni Pinky Web. Roll VTR.
Meron ho ba kayong awa na nararamdaman sa kanya?
Bakit po tayo maawa sa kanya? Naawa ba siya dun sa mga pinagpapatay nila?
Stop! Roll VTR. That's so 80s, di ba? I love Attorney Leila de Lima. In fact, for the first time sa election nito, I am voting for ML party list or mamamayang liberal. Usually kapag election, nakareserve na yung party list vote ko sa Mothers for Change or MOCA for short. Pero may comment ako sa sagot ni Attorney Leila de Lima. We cannot use victims of crimes as an excuse or reason why we lack compassion towards a fellow human being. Why we will excuse lack of due process. What is the difference between Attorney Leila's reasoning and the DDS reasoning? Diba? Bakit ako maaawa? Naawa ba siya sa mga biktima niya? No? Kasi sabi ng mga DDS nung panahon ng Tokhang, kaya approve na approve sila sa dami ng patayan, bakit ako maaawa sa mga adik? Naawa ba sila sa mga biktima nila? No? Now, if we do that, kung ganyan yung reasoning na magkabilang panig, then we'll have a proxy war. Biktima ng mga adik versus biktima ng Tokhang. Kawawa naman yung mga biktima. Binibiktima natin sila ulit. Let them rest in peace. Let's talk about politics and let's talk about justice. Kasi anong tawag dyan? Fallacy yan, di ba? Argumentum ad passionem o appeal to emotion. If you want to be on the side of justice, you should not resort to shortcuts. You cannot kill or imprison anyone until you have provided the accused with all the legal avenues available to him. Mapa-adik yan o dating presidente na inaakusahan ng crimes against humanity. At consistent naman ako dyan kung kilala ninyo ako. Kahit sa bahay, dito, mayroong due process sa amin. Kapag may nabasag, may chance mag-explain ang mga bata bago sila pagsabihan o parusahan. Now, naaawa ba ako sa dating Pangulo? At bago ko sagutin yan, break muna at masyadong mabigat itong topic natin ngayon.
Hey!
Public service muna tayo.
Hey! Mr. Epektibo, Kuya Ipe sa Senado. Pilit Senador.
Tanungin natin si Kuya Epe since nandito siya, ha? Kuya, noong isang araw, nabagsakan ng kahoy yung paa ko. Tinamaan yung 3 daliri. sa paa ko. At kanina tiningnan ko, nangingitim na sila. Kuya Epe, ano pong mensahe ninyo sa mga kuko ko?
Well, simple lang. Mamatay kayong lahat.
Hey, 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 Mr. Epektibo. Kuya Ipe sa Senado. Mr. Epektibo. Philip Salvador, Senador.
Tatampo na naman si Kaloy. Pasok, Kaloy!
Mr. Epektibo. Kuya Ipe sa Senado. Mr. Epektibo. Philip Salvador, Senador. Mr. Epektibo. Ang kuya natin sa Senado. Ating Senador, Senador Ipe. Mr. Epektibo, Mr. Epektibo. Kakampi natin sa Senado. Senador, Mr. Epektibo lang.
Kasama na si Harry Roque. Lumalaking pamilya natin. Magkaday, dumadami. hindi ko maintindihan bakit hindi pa rin 1 milyon yung followers natin eh. Ang saya-saya natin dito eh. Ay. Kuya Ipe. Follow-up question. Ano pong masasabi ninyo sa mga ayaw mag-follow sa Tara Kape?
Mamatay kayong lahat.
Mamatay kayong lahat. Okay. Back to regular programming tayo. Balikan natin yung tanong. Naaawa ba ako sa dating Pangulo? Well, I'll answer that, but no, I have a comment. Philippine politics should not run on awa. Alisin natin sa bokabularyo natin yan. Kasi ang daming nananalo, di ba? Ang daming nakakalusot sa mga kaso, Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. Dahil naaawa ang tao eh. Kaya nga nauso yung mga neck braces, wheelchair, para maawa kayo. Now, to answer that question, naaawa ba ako sa dating Pangulo? I will give you a qualified answer. Yes, but I have to distinguish pity from compassion. Magkaiba yan. Yung awa kasi sa Tagalog, kadalasan, no, ang translation ay pity. I choose compassion over pity. Mas malalim yan eh. Mas reasonable ang compassion. Mas nag-iisip ang mga taong mayroong compassion over pity. Yung mga Pinoy na ang awa nila ay pity sa Ingles, yan yung mga nagbibigay agad ng pera sa mga nanlilimos sa kalye. Not really to help yung namamalimos kasi his life won't get better naman eh sa bibigay mong pera eh. No? But people do this, Pinoy, they do this because it make them feel better about themselves. Compassion is deeper than pity. May examination of conscience yan. Mas malalim na reflection ang kailangan, di ba? What can I do to make this world a better place? Former President Rodrigo Duterte is now 79 years old. No? He doesn't like trips abroad. Siya yung tipo ng gusto magretiro sa Pilipinas. Dito sa US, yung mga immigrant dito, 2 klase lang ang mga magulang ng mga Pinoy immigrants. Yung gusto silang mapetisyon dito ng anak nila at yung ayaw pumunta dito. No? At kung may anak na nurse si Digong dito sa US, halimbawa si Inday Sara, imbes na naging vice president ng nursing at nurse siya dito, siya yung ayaw na ayaw, no? Kapag pinapapunta ni Inday Sara dito sa US. Sabihin niya kay Inday, ano ang gagawin ko dyan? Ang lamig-lamig dyan. Put. Pag Aalagaan mo lang ako ng mga apo ko. Dito sa Pilipinas, puta, paglabas ko ng bahay, may tricycle na agad. Yung mga tricycle dyan. Lalakarin ko lang yung panaderya sa ng kanto tuwing umaga. May magtataho sa umaga at may ng magbabalot sa gabi. In between, may binatog at sorbetero sa hapon. Diyan, magugutom ako dahil hindi ka araw-araw nagpupunta sa grocery. Now, he is in The Hague, no, in prison, alone. If you haven't lived in another country, you probably won't realize the difference between sunrises. Iba ang sinag ng araw sa Pilipinas. I'll tell you, nakumpara ko kapag umaga. Compare mo yan sa ibang bansa like US and countries in Europe. Kakaiba. Philippine sun in the morning, it recharges you. Iba. Iba yung sinag ng araw kapag umaga sa Pilipinas. Lalo na kapag matanda ka na tulad ko. Kailangan mo ang araw sa umaga. At ibang klase ang araw, sinag ng araw sa Philippines. And I don't think he will be given interim release or bail given the situation in the Philippines. At nung pinanood ko yung pag-aresto sa dating Pangulo, ay naawa ako. Compassion. Kasi I see the whole picture. Once mighty and untouchable, they were cornered by the government, no? Yung PNP, mga police. And they were doing, dating Pangulong Duterte, kita mo, they're doing everything to avoid being flown to The Hague. Dinidelay nila. Nakikiusap, nagmamakaawa, nagagalit, nagmumura. Lahat sinubukan nila, namumukpok ng cellphone. They were doing everything to delay the arrest. They were waiting for rescue. Kasi alam nila, kapag nangyari yun, hindi na nila makikita si Digong sa Philippines. I've always been consistent with my values and feelings, no? Kahit drug addict, naaawa pa rin ako kapag dinadampot sila at nagmamakaawa yung mga kamag-anak nila na huwag kunin dahil alam nila, no? Alam ng mga kamag-anak na hindi na nila makikita yung anak, kapatid, tatay nila kapag kinuha ng mga pulis. Ganon din ang awa ko kay Pangulong Digong. And again, you cannot ask me, naaawa ba si Digong? Naawa ba si Digong sa mga napatay niya? The way DDS would ask, naawa ba yung mga adik sa biktima nila? Last point about former President Digong. Before we answer the question, bakit ang Pinoy pag nasa ibang bansa marunong sumunod sa batas? Political and justice system in the Philippines is so fucked up. You cannot depend on it even when your life is on the line. Diba? Those who were suspected of using drugs couldn't count on it during Tokhang. And Digong couldn't count on it when he was arrested at the airport. Kasi ideally kung maayos yung sistema sa Pilipinas, the government is very powerful. It has all the resources to go after Digong. What's a week, diba, to allow Digong to challenge the validity of the ICC warrant of arrest? Ano ba, 1 linggo? 2 linggo? Sasabihin lang ng gobyerno, we have an airtight case. We are confident the Philippine court will uphold the validity of the ICC warrant. Sige, mag-file kayo dyan. I-file nyo lahat yan. We can wait. The court will side with us. You're just delaying the inevitable. Kaya lang, yun nga, social, political, justice, at lahat na ng system sa Pilipinas, they don't work. No? You let Digong out of your sight, kung ikaw yung police, for 2 hours, kahit 30 minutes, hindi mo na makikita uli yan. I'll discuss in detail kung ano yung ibig sabihin yan. No? Hayaan mo magpunta sa korte yan, aabuti ng 10 taon yan, hindi pa rin nakakapag-desisyon ng korte. At kapag oras na, Halimbawa, sinabi na ng korte with finality, pwede nyo na yan dalhin sa dahig at wala nang magawa ang anumang motion, anumang appeal, anumang case ng mga abogado. Well, good luck pa rin sa inyo. Kasi, papasok naman ang mga doktor na ang bilis mag-issue ng excuse letter. Parang lagnat lang. Oh. Not fit for travel, not fit for trial, not fit to do anything. O, magre-reseta ng hospital arrest. Tapos ka na. Now, to explain all this in detail, kailangan natin sagutin yung next question natin. Intro yan sa next question. Bakit ang Pinoy hindi marunong sumunod sa batas? Pero sumusunod kapag nasa ibang bansa na. Ang bibigay natin ng mga examples yung sa kaso ni former President Rodrigo R. Duterte. Kasi dahil fresh pa sa mga utak ninyo at napanood nyo yung lahat ng nangyari. Pero, I have to emphasize, hindi lang pamilya Duterte, kundi tayong lahat ng mga Pilipino guilty dyan. Hindi marunong sumunod sa batas sa Pilipinas. Pero pag nasa ibang bansa, tumitinog tayo. Diba?
Sa Senado, Mr. Efectivo, Philip Salvador, Senador, Mr. Efectivo, ang kuya natin sa Senado, Salvador, ating Senador, Senador Ipe, Mr. Efectivo, Mr. Efectivo, kakampi natin sa Senado.